Spirit Halloween is now open, including their flagship location, which has every costume and animatronic they have to offer, including some unlike anything you've ever seen before. Usually they do a grand opening with many events and people. Unfortunately, however, that was canceled this year, so it felt a lot lonelier this time around. But as long as the store is still open, then that's all that matters. Let's get in there and check out the Spirit Halloween flagship store located in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, which used to be a circuit city. Right as you walk in, you can see the theme this year, which is Spirit Madison Scare Park, and the whole thing is supposed to look like a train station. I really like the theme this year, and just at first glance, it looks really cool. First up, we have the man himself, Jack the Reaper. I've always wanted to see an animatronic of this guy, and I'm so glad they actually did it. I never thought they would. I remember when they released the hanging prop of him, and I thought then, why isn't there an animatronic of him? Well, 1 year later, we actually got it. So you can see his face right there, looks exactly like the logo, with the missing eye, of course. The coolest part is if you look right here, it says that it has motion traction technology where it'll follow you around. Last year, Spirit came out with a prop just like that called Nibbles the Clown, and he would also follow you around. I thought that was a really cool idea, so I'm glad they brought it back. And then when you push the step pad, he starts talking. Let's see if he follows me. Oh, there you go. Look, he's actually doing it. Now, for a second, I actually couldn't find the sensor on him. I thought it was somewhere on his face until I looked right there. You can see it on the tip of his finger. And then right next to him, we have this animatronic called Crypt Countless. And this one's actually pretty tall. They have two of the really tall ones right in the front. Let's see what this one does. Oh, look at that. Thrashing all around. I didn't expect her arms to go crazy like that. I thought it was just gonna say a couple creepy words and that's it. But then all of a sudden, she goes crazy. But with those two out of the way, we can now finally enter the train station. Under the tunnel, you can see this newspaper stand that says Giant Rat Found Near Sewer, which is a reference to one of the animatronics this year. And then right under it, they have a reference to this store where it says Egg Harbor right there. They most likely put that because this is where their headquarters is. And then right across from that, you have this rocking tombstone where it just goes back and forth. As simple as this one is, I actually like it a lot because you rarely see small animatronics anymore from Spirit. I feel like every animatronic they make nowadays is super big, whereas back in the day, they had a lot more smaller ones that were more affordable. So I feel like it's been a while since we've seen something like this. Moving away from that, in front of the train itself, you have this nun animatronic. Let's see what she does. Okay. Oh, what the? Look at that. She jumps right at you. Usually I don't like when jump scares take a second or two to do it, but for some reason in this case, I feel like it works. It's just short enough where you're still gonna stick around and see what it does versus talking for 18 years and then jumping. Also, I feel bad for this raccoon. Hopefully it's not the same one from the movie Elf. Right next to the nun, you have Bullseye the Clown, who has a really unique look. This one might stand out the most out of any animatronic this year. And I can imagine what it does, but let's see it. There we go. He spins his head all around. Now, I have to say, as cool as this one is, how did people miss this much? Look at all the knives around him. With a head this big, it's a pretty easy target. Right behind that clown, we have Backbend Bonnie, which when you face her this way, you can't see her face, but they have it perfectly set up where if you go inside, you can. This is what it looks like from the other view. It almost looks like she's breaking through the glass. But if you're wondering why she's facing the wrong way, well, it would be this reason right here. I almost thought that was going to be a jump scare animatronic where she jumps back, but it's a lot more subtle. In the middle here, we have Monkey Business, which from that name, you wouldn't think it's a clown animatronic, but it is. However, he's holding a box that says just for you. Oh boy, I can't wait to see what's in this box. I would totally trust a guy that looks like this. Oh, he's yapping. Oh, look at that monkey jump right out of there. I gotta be honest, I don't know how he's fitting that whole monkey in there, but I guess that's part of the surprise. Making our way towards the end on this side, you have this really tall one named Fire Demon. And I don't know why, but he looks a little shy. He's covering his face and everything. Come on, dude, open up. Oh, what the? Yeah, maybe cover yourself back up. Yeah, there you go. I don't even want to see you anymore. I was trying to help him out, but when you look like this, there's no helping. All the way at the end of the train station, we have what is honestly my favorite animatronic ever from Spirit, the Jumping Spider. They have this guy every single year, and I never want to see him not here. And you gotta love how Spirit doesn't even display the black one anymore. They just do this old gray one because he's so old at this point. Seriously, I don't care what the theme is. It could literally be anything. I still want them to shove in the Jumping spider. Whether it makes sense or not, just shove him in. In the middle, we have Night Owl, and he's actually huge. I mean, for an owl, this thing is ginormous. Let's see what an owl this big does. Oh, I guess it's no shock. He flaps his wings. If I had to be honest, this one's probably one of my least favorites this year. Not that he looks bad, but I don't know. I just want to hate on this guy for no reason. All the way at the end on this side, you have Trick or Treat Pete. And apparently, according to this tag, he dispensed candy out of his mouth. And they have a little demonstration right here. Let's see what he does. All right, so I guess he does nothing, and you have to put candy in there yourself or something. I'm not really sure, actually. But apparently, according to his tag, you can connect Bluetooth to it. Making our way to the other side of the train, we start with Sinister Strawman. And this one's great because when you press it, I remember the first time I saw that thing jump up, and it actually got me a little bit. And ever since then, they've been bringing him back, but he looks a little different each time. But honestly, I have no problem with that because this really is one of my favorites. The only downside I would say is that he talks a little too long in the beginning. I've seen people press it and then just immediately walk away. In the middle, we have Twisted Grandma, which is another one that's facing away. A lot of animatronics this year are pretty shy. Let's get her looking over. Oh, what the heck? Never mind. You can look back. Oh, wow, wow. I have to say, I've never seen an animatronic from Spirit move like that. It was pretty cool. It messes you up a little bit because you think all it's gonna do is just turn its head and that's it, but then you get the actual jump scare after. And then the final one on the outside is this double face clown. You can see they're mushed together with one eyeball in the middle. And instead of a foot pad, you actually get to press a button for this guy. And when you do, they yap away. So that's all the ones you can see along the outside, but there's still a few more in here. And then of course the one I'll be looking at afterwards. Right in the front, you have the control deck with a phone right here. And then you have this thing where you push it and the ground starts to shake, as well as these things go off. But unfortunately, this guy touched one of them and now is tangled up in it. Somebody should probably help him, but it's not gonna be me. And then across from him, you have this sitting scarecrow. You try to get some candy, it's actually just this piece of paper. And usually he jumps up, but it looks like it's not working. Oh wait, maybe he's actually being nice. He's not jumping up because he wants you to get the candy. Thank you. And then all the way at the end, we have the final animatronic inside, and it's the mutant sewer rat. When I saw photos of this, I thought it was gonna be a lot bigger, almost like the size of that owl, but he's pretty small. And of course, I saved the craziest one for last. You have this girl from Squid Games. I can't even tell you how tall this thing is. And the funniest part about this is that because it's so big, it's not even for sale for people to buy. The only way you can get this is by putting your name down, and at the end of the year, they'll pick someone to buy this animatronic. So they're only making a couple of these for each store, and not even each store will get it. So this will be a very rare collector's piece by the end of this year. Let's see what she does. She's saying stuff right now. Uh-oh. All right, look, I'm moving. Okay, oh, gotta stay still. But the reason why this is here in the first place is to promote all the Squid Game stuff behind it. You have all the outfits and whatnot right there. And then on the other side, there's a bunch more. Now that we saw all the animatronics, let's take a look at the ones they have in stock, which there's plenty of. There's so much in here, they might have stuff dating back to 2010. Right here, we have 3 mutant sewer rats. That's actually a bigger box than I thought it was gonna be. We have this guy from last year, the Night Terror. At the end, you have another old one, the Dark Princess. On the other side, you have more mutant sewer rats, along with a bunch of these Two-Faced Freddies, which I didn't even see displayed. I thought the Flagship had every one, but maybe they just don't like this guy. On the other side, you have a bunch of these Night Owls. You have Trick or Treat Pete, where it says once again you can put Bluetooth to it. You have Twisted Grandma, and then this creepy 3-headed dog. In the middle, they always have stuff, starting with the Nun, which I've actually seen going for a lot of money on eBay. I'm guessing this is going to be that one animatronic that for some reason just cost a bunch. However, I'm not going to be one of those people to just randomly buy it and try to resell it. You also have this 2-headed clown guy, Crypt Countless right here, a bunch of these creepy pumpkin things. You of course have Monkey Business, and then all the way at the end you have Jack the Reaper himself, and it claims that it's a collector's item. So Spirit thinks this one's going to be one that a lot of people want. There's a bunch more in the back here, starting with Bullseye the Clown. You have Sinister Strawman with this huge box that's almost half my height, a bunch of overstock of Corpse Bride, and then the final thing is none other than the Jumping Spider. No matter where, they'll always have a bunch of these guys. You got brown, black, and even red and black. Now that I saw the animatronics, let's check everything else out, starting with these funny costumes. If you see this yellow packaging, you know it's gonna be a hilarious, funny one. I usually wear this one every time because it's a burger for a Corona burger. It just makes too much sense. But how can you forget about Carrot, Classic Banana, and even this one that I've literally never seen before in my life? But sadly, as I'm looking around, I don't think they have the Chipotle one this year again. again. I remember seeing that last time, and I just couldn't believe that was an actual costume. But hey, at least they have this creepy Shrek face. It looks like I just decapitated Shrek's head. Sorry, buddy, I had to do it. Also, why does his eyebrows remind me of Will Ferrell's hair in Elf? And then obviously you have a bunch of other costumes, which is what Spirit is most known for. It's actually funny to think about that a lot of people come to Spirit just for the costumes and don't even care about the animatronics, but I've always been the exact opposite way. Over here, they have a whole wall dedicated to Art the Clown, who really became popular last year with Terrifier 3. He even had his own animatronic from Spirit, and they even made another one, but he's not on display. However, they have a poster where you can see him. Now, walking over to the decorations for a little bit, I wanted to start with the zombie babies, which were my favorite when I was younger. However, they definitely made less of them over the years. A lot of them are just very simple now and don't even get their own display. You also have a bunch of these guys where it's the stuff you can hang outdoors and whatnot. I really like these lights that you can put outside, especially this one at the bottom here where it's a hand coming out of the ground and holding the light. These, however, over here are actually really good. It's called Creepy Pumpkins, and it's exactly what you would expect. Oh, this one just started moving. I've never seen these from Spirit, but I like them a lot. They also have some inflatables, which I could be completely wrong, but I don't remember Spirit having these when I was younger. Maybe they did and I just didn't pay attention, but I only remember these in recent time. Now, obviously, what's Spirit Halloween without the mask? They always have a bunch, and they're usually pretty good. If I wasn't looking at animatronics, this would be the one thing I would do, is just throw on random masks and act stupid, I guess. I have no idea. Now, there's obviously a bunch of other stuff I could go over, but lucky for you guys, I'm gonna be making a bunch more Spirit videos this year, so I'll have plenty of time to see all this stuff. Hold on, before I leave, I have to point this out. I just saw that they have Spirit Halloween Jenga. I remember going crazy for the Monopoly game, and I never thought they would make another one, but here we have Jenga. Before I end the video, I had to include this. I found an abandoned Spirit Halloween. Usually Spirit's the one going into abandoned places, but now Spirit is the abandoned one. I'm not really sure what this is. It's right near the Flagship store in Egg Harbor. It's actually literally across the street, and they just have a bunch of these signs up. However, there is a sign on the door, so I'm gonna read that right now and see what it says. Okay, so it's literally nothing. It just gives a bunch of information to deliver packages and whatnot. But you do have a Spirit sticker right here. However, all the windows are blacked out, so you can't see anything inside. I mean, almost everything else in the shopping area is abandoned as well, so I guess this fits right in. And when I say abandoned, I am not joking. Make sure to subscribe and buy merch. Link in the description.